Matt here with Mick Weld's Official. We are on our way to a city about a couple hours away to go work on a boom lift. I think I've worked on this boom lift before. It's for a good customer of ours in the heavy equipment sector. And we're going to go take care of them. Now, on the downside, it is raining. It is raining bad. Not pissing, but it's raining. Like, I got my old Chevy windshield wipers at full chooch right now. So, it's going to be a little bit miserable, but it's alright. It's alright. At least it's not like negative 20 and blowing snow yet. But I also figured out why that annoying chime was on. We were just low on brake fluid. I found out where it was leaking. I did find that because I'm like, well, things just don't empty themselves of brake fluid. It's not a consumable item. Technically, yes, you do want to flush it, but it's not something that, like oil, where you're like, oh, I'll add a little quart here and there. It's not like that. Brake fluid, when you're leaking brake fluid, usually you want to try to find where it's coming out of. And I did. It's the master cylinder and the booster where they meet. I don't know, I think it's just a gasket, but I think I'm just going to replace the whole units as a whole. It's only going to cost like $300 to replace them both. And then I got whole new systems and a new tank and everything. Then I'll just bleed the system. I think that's the route I'm going to take. I don't like to take my chances, especially with this truck. This truck weighs 19,500 pounds as right now. So I'm trying not to kill anybody. Really trying not to. So we're going to do the right thing. We're just going to replace those parts next week. But yeah, we're going to town about a couple hours away today to work on a boom lift. And looks like the rain's seceding for a while. We'll see. I'll try to keep you guys updated on my drive, but you guys know how it is. I get busy. So, we'll see. Alright, we just stopped off at Menards over here and got new windshield wipers for the truck. Put them on. I'm excited to try those out. And got some more brake fluid. We're ready to stop by the bank, then the truck stop, then on to our little 2-hour drive. Alright, we are here now. It's a crazy amount of construction going on down that alley. I had to get back down that alley, and this is, from what I understand, a one-way alley. Now I gotta find this lift, and this is one of the problems with working in the bigger cities. You get on the construction projects where space is just so freaking tight, and you're driving a big truck and you gotta figure out, hey, how am I gonna get this thing close to where I'm working? So this guy looks like he's somebody in charge. He's got a fucking badge on. I don't know. He's probably gonna tell me to get the fuck out of the way, but we'll find out. We are now waiting for my point of contact to get here. He's going to, man, I cannot get that glare away, no matter what I do. And he's going to kind of show me where the lift is. It's off, I think, on the side of a street somewhere, and it could be pretty difficult to get my truck over there. So we're just gonna kind of FAFO and see what we can do to get this thing going. It can't be moved because I think the belt is off of it because the generator, the bracket cracked, and I think the belt shredded. So if I can't get it welded, it can't move. So we'll figure it out. It's actually 2 bolts. we are all set up. Got the, hello there. Got the first one out, and the main reason, so here's what I'm doing. Gotta take that strap off, and I'm gonna see how much I can pull back. Looks like my goal is to be able to take this thing and set it down somewhere, hopefully on a bucket if I can. If not, I'll just whip it around and maybe set it right there where the speaker's at. Here's what we're dealing with. I gotta take this thing completely off, and this is a 3-phase generator. There's the breakers for it. This has to come off in order for me to properly fix these. That's hot. We were able to get it out of the area where we were working, and out of that fenced-in tight gate area, so I don't have to worry about getting nails in my tires out here. It's nice and calm. Not a lot of people working around here, so I'm gonna take that bolt off. Well, here, let me explain the process. So we're gonna go ahead and get that cable tie popped off, and this thing is metric, pretty much the whole thing. So far, I think that's pretty common with these lifts. We'll put a new cable tie on them when we put everything back together. Oh, my buddy took off. All right. So, yeah, see, there's some pretty deep. Oh, man, that's down to the wires. Well, it's almost a good thing this belt came off, honestly. Get that guy squeezed in there. Alright, I should have enough space to take it there, down onto like on top of a bucket. Pick this guy. And we'll just set that head right on that bucket so we're not stretching out the cable. And we'll go through the cable, make sure we wrap everything up, make sure stuff gets strapped up where it's not. I mean, that was on that block right there. You can see how sharp that was. That's what was digging in right there. You gotta really watch for that stuff. There's a reason everything is engineered to be strapped to certain things and flow. Because any kind of abrasion and vibration that happens, it's pretty serious. This is 3-phase, 208 3-phase coming off this thing. So you gotta really watch that. Our belt's already disconnected. We got our belt off. I am probably gonna take this guard off, just for extra visibility, and so it's even more out of my way. Yep, that's 13. Yeah, we're usually working on equipment out in the middle of nowhere. Not today though. We are in downtown Indianapolis on the east side. So that's where we're at today. It's pretty loose. I wonder if these are threading. I bet you they got bolts going on the inside. Ah, fuck, that's on. I bet you they got bolts on the inside of these things. We're about to find out if they're threaded or not. Well, they're coming out, so that makes me think that there's not a nut on the back. Ah, perfect. They're threaded. That's good. That's good. Alright, I'm gonna get this guard off of here and get this generator head off. I'll get back with you guys when I got that done. Okay. That is heavy. That is pretty heavy for sure. I knew it was going to be. I bet you that thing probably weighs around 60, 70 pounds, maybe more. Here it is. Here's what we're looking at. That one needs drilled and filled, drilled and tapped. That one, we'll clean up that one, and that one needs extracted. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one needs cleaned out, extracted, and that one needs drilled. There's only, you know, one little hiccup on that. And the main thing is I don't have the proper size metric. Okay, so here's where we're at. I was able to save these threads. I was able to extract that little guy. I started drilling on it, and it just came out the backside. Perfect. I chased those threads. I chased that thread, and I was able to actually chase that thread too. If you look way back there, where'd my flashlight go? Oh, I just lost another flashlight. That's awesome. Yep. No clue where that went. Oh, I'm an idiot. Right. If you look way back in there, those threads back there are savable. I just need to clean them out really good. But I was able to actually get a tap. The metric taps. This guy, M14 X 2.0. I was able to get this guy to bottom out, and it was pretty secure. It wasn't wiggling around. Worst comes to worst, we will do some build-up right there. But yeah, that's gonna work. I gotta pack all this up and go to Granger. I've ordered a bunch of stuff off of Granger, but I've never been inside one. There's one about 8 minutes from here, and I'm gonna go over there and get the bolts I need. So hopefully I will be able to acquire those proper hardware. Then I can get this job done, knocked out. Fastenal's pretty much closed for the day. They close at like 1500. So that's a little unfortunate, but yep, I'm just gonna slam all this stuff in the back of my truck, and we're gonna lock it back up, and then we're gonna head over to Granger and get the hardware that we need. Should be, once we get back, we'll be able to weld up that bracket and get her knocked out. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we are back. Here's the original fasteners. This is the correct count and the correct new fasteners, as you can probably tell. Yes, they are cut. Like I said, this is all I got, so we're gonna make do with it. I've got an idea. So once I get that bracket fixed on there, I'm gonna fix it in this on the bucket. When I go to lay that thing up there, I'm gonna put this act like studs. Okay. And then I'm gonna put, I might even just use that one. And I'm gonna grab that thing and hang it on that. And then I'm gonna get the rest of my bolts in, and then the last stage will be to remove that and then put the bolt in its place. That way I can do this by myself. Obviously this truck doesn't have the crane yet, so it kind of makes it a little difficult to do that. Luckily, I've got half a brain, and I can kind of work without a crane for now. But yep, there's our hardware. I even went through and put a nice little chamfer on there. Looks pretty good. So old ones, new ones, these are ready to go. That's taken care of. We're gonna go ahead and start prepping this. Over here, I've got the piece in the vise. I'm gonna start putting a little bevel on that, get that cleaned up, and I am probably not even gonna stick weld it. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna use the wire feeder and put some 035 flux core on her and button her up good. Just filled this thing up this morning. Oh yeah, she's full. And get our air going. Yeah, I just got the tap and die kits put away. We're done tapping and dyeing and all that stuff. Done chasing threads. I am gonna clean this. I do want to clean that because it's just bugging me. I don't like it. Oh yeah. And we might need stuff clean up all my oil. That's just soapy water. A lot of people wondering what I'm spraying out of that. That's just Dawn dish soap, diluted like pretty heavily actually. It's probably like a 25 to 1, 25 to 100, whatever. It's about a quarter dilution. It's pretty heavy dilution. I use it to find leaks. It's great on degreasing stuff. It's not too hard on seals. You're not worrying about like butylene or specific synthetic types of rubber and all that. You don't really have to worry about that with that. The industrial degreaser and brake clean and acetone, you kind of want to watch out for that stuff, but for the most part, man, that stuff is really greasy. I see why some guys have pressure washers on their truck. Could probably put one on here, honestly. Probably wouldn't hurt. A little electric one. And this thing is just washed in general. Just trying to clean up my mess of shavings and oil, tap fluid. That looks a little better. That'll do. Alright. So, we'll go ahead and get in our welding stuff, fire up the welder, and start working on getting this guy prepped up. And how I'm going to get it perfectly level, well, flush on the bracket. Well, all this for like less than 5 minutes of actual hood time, but we got her done. That's all flux core. I'm not worried about that little guy right there, but yeah, 35 for you. Now we're gonna let that cool just a bit. Slap some paint on it while it's down here, and I noticed this was a little loose. That was my fault. I was trying to take it off on that lug instead of this lug, which was bolted to the machine, and I should have taken it off of that, but live and learn. So in the meantime, while that's cooling down, I'm gonna pop this cover off and try to get that tight, because that's gonna cause some issues. I could easily just, you know, jam something under there and hook it back up, and everything would probably be perfectly fine and nobody would know. But you know what, it's bugging me. We're gonna tighten it up, do it right. When I was welding on this, I did turn the breaker off. I don't think it matters at all. I've welded on a lot of equipment, never disconnect the batteries, and I don't know if it's like an old school thing of like Billy Bob Jr. 70 years ago fucked a piece of equipment up. I've never had it happen. I've never had it happen. Let me explain why. So the main reason that you're not gonna fry shit when you're welding, and I'm not saying you won't fry shit. I'm not saying like it's not possible, but oh, let's get that guy covered up. She was hanging out over there. It's not where we're supposed to be. There you go. Here's your battery, okay? A lot of times these machines have battery disconnects. I'm not quite sure if this one has one or not. Probably. I don't know. I don't work on these every day. Anyway, ground the closest to where you're welding. Closest you can to where you're actually working. You'll never have a problem. Alright, now if you're grounding on that end of the frame right there, and you're, I don't know, working on something up top or on the mast or something, I mean, you probably still wouldn't have any trouble. Everybody freaks out about it. I've never had an issue with it. Not saying I will never have an issue with it. Not saying that it can't possibly happen. But even if you disconnect the battery, you got to think of it circuit-wise. Your computer is still hooked to the frame. It's still grounded to the frame. Disconnecting this battery is doing nothing but preventing straight current from going to the battery, which is kind of unheard of. So your computer's connected anyways. Alright, just get over that. Unless you're gonna go under here and you're gonna disconnect all that, which I didn't, but unless you do all that, if you want to be safety, I guess you can, but there's no issue with welding on equipment. Your computer's connected already. Like, disconnecting the battery is not disconnecting the computer. It's still grounded. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just random rant. But let's get this figured out. Alright. That guy right there. It's tightened. Okay, I got the cover back on. Another thing that I like to do is I like to wire wheel around all the other welds and just check them out. Check them out, make sure nothing else is cracked. Somebody's having fun. Not as much fun as me though. Alright. Yeah, just, that's not a crack, by the way, I already checked. Just make sure nothing else is cracked or loose, or, you know, these look like very nice welds on here. It looked like it was just that right there. So we got that back nice and level and straight, getting ready to put some paint on it. And of course it wouldn't be a proper Mick Weld's paint job without the tape. Gotta have the tape. Cover up them warning labels. And there we are. Nice paint. Alright, now time for the peel. Peel and reveal. Oh yeah. Nice. That way we're not painting over any warning labels or model numbers. That looks amazing. And nobody's got to see it. I went ahead and put that belt on just to save some trouble. I'm ready to mount that thing. My least favorite part, but part of it, gotta be done. I got it off, surely I can put it on. That thing seriously weighs like 70 pounds. It's I don't know what size it is. I'm assuming at least a 10 kW head, 3-phase. So yeah, we're about to get it going. I'll get back with you when I get that back on. That helicopter is about to land on the roof of the hospital over there. There's about 7 different hospitals in this industrial area that we're at. As you can tell by the buildings, they are super pretty and very modern. But now there's a bunch of hospitals over here, and they fly people in and out all the time. But about got this whole thing mounted, making sure all the bolts go snug before I start putting my Loctite on there. And I'm going to pull each bolt individually and degrease them, get them nice and dry, make sure the threads are nice and dry and degreased, and then I will put my Loctite on and get everything a final snugging. Then I'll go ahead and put my belt on. I already checked, make sure we had these aligned, and that's a major thing. Last thing you want to do is redo all this so at a later date. So then once we get all that hooked up, we'll hook our little ground generator head to unit ground, and then we'll make sure we flip our breaker right here so we don't get anybody all confused the next day. They still gotta wait for this V-belt right here, which nobody has. I mean, nobody. McAllister doesn't have it, Sunbelt doesn't have it. There's nobody around here that has it within the next couple days. So they're gonna be waiting on that. Probably should have just ordered the right bolts anyway, but may do with what we got. All right, the belt is on, and she is nice and secured and aligned too. That's the main thing. She's aligned. So give me my wrench back. All right, fucker. There we go. So now we are going to bust out the red Loctite. I actually think I got some in here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Not even name brand Loctite. It'll do. We'll probably use this whole tube on it. Each one of these little guys, I need to start getting the bigger ones. But I think each one of these is like $6 or $7. Okay guys, I just wrapped up. Everything is done and put on, tightened up, Loctited, gone through, checked everything. Famous last words. We got helicopters in the air. Noisy. Anyway, I've got to put all my tools away. Most of them actually are put away. Just the ones that I have on the tire right here and the ones that I have up on the deck right there. And then I got to clean up those. But for the most part, everything's put away. So, that is that. I don't know how much I actually got filmed. I have to look back and see how much I forgot to film or how much parts I didn't film. But we'll find that out later. If you guys are even watching this, I don't know. I don't know if I'll even post this. So, yep, just another day as a welder slash heavy, light duty, heavy equipment, but light work mechanic, I guess. I don't know. Mechanic, if you can even. All the comments in the YouTube will be like, hey, you're not a real mechanic. You know, I'm not a real mechanic. No, I'm not. I have tools like a real mechanic would, but you know, not out here taking your jobs. Just out here making a few $1,000s when I can. So, appreciate you guys for watching. I know this wasn't super interesting, but I haven't posted anything in a long time, so figured I would give you guys some long form content to chew on while I find out what I'm doing next to film, that I can film. Not everywhere I go I can film. That's another thing. I'm busy, not everywhere I go can I film videos. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe it, like it, and all that good stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Stay profitable.